Hello again everybody and welcome back to my channel. This is Ledrock, your fisherman friend. Welcome as we go out this morning. It's early to rise, early to fish, early bird catches the most worm. But today is not really worm catching, it's fish catching. This is me on my way down going through a school of fish, and you know it's always an experience every day that we dive. Let me send a shout out to all my subscribers. This morning I woke up to find myself having 200 subscribers. It's been a journey. We have started this journey since February. It's a slow growth, nevertheless I appreciate you, and I am happy to know that you find my videos interesting and that you will watch them and that you will go as far as to subscribe, so every time I upload a new video you will be among the first to be notified. So let me say enough respect, enough love, thanks much, and continue to watch. For those who have not yet subscribed, I ask you and I say to you, I encourage you that it will not cause you to lose your phone battery. It will not cause you to lose any credit. It will not cause your phone to slow down. So just hit the subscription button. And as you know, we always go fishing. This is a fish channel. This is a channel where we go fishing. Inside this trap you have some snappers and some other small fish that you see swimming around. But the mesh wire is of the size that as soon as I lift it from the bottom, a lot of those that you see inside there that are small, they will just swim through the mesh and escape. We have some issues that we want to have a little discussion, and this morning I want to bring to your attention coral bleaching. On your screen you see that white piece of sheet coral. It is caused due to the temperature that we now experience in the Caribbean, especially the Western Caribbean, in the Jamaica area. That piece of brain coral that you have just seen is a healthy piece of coral. It's still brown. However, this piece of sheet coral, it is bleached because of the water temperature. Normally the water temperature is about 80 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit, but today we have it in the high 80s approaching low 90s. This is happening due to for the past 2 weeks we have been having a heat wave in our area, and the water temperature eats up all the way down to about 100 to 110 feet deep, because where we are right now it's about 80 feet. What is happening here is that the corals are not standing up to that temperature. They're not used to that temperature. So the brown organism on it that is called the polyps that keep the coral alive, those are dying. So after they die, the coral become white. Then after a few weeks you notice algae start growing all over it. So that piece of coral is dead. However, some of the time, some of these corals, they become, resilient to this kind of action. And over time, some of them, maybe about 30 to 35% of them will survive. That 65 to 70% will die. And after a while, you find algae just grow all over the coral reef. Now, this temperature is not something that is constant yearly. Every year, or every 4 years, 5 years, and so on, we have a record temperature. And when we have a record water temperature at this, rate for this period of time, because it's over about 3 to 4 weeks now, just about a month, that we have been experiencing this heat wave here in the Jamaica area. It's very hot, so it's affecting the coral reef negatively. Now, not only the coral reef are being affected, but also the fish that live in this area. They migrate to deeper water. Normally the thermocline, which is where the water temperature changes suddenly, you get that sometime at about 80-85 feet. Now you have to go to about 130 to 135 feet to experience that colder water, and even then the thermocline is about 1 to 2 degrees warmer than it would normally be. So for those who have scuba dive, you would dive off the boat, let's say in 82 degrees Fahrenheit, but about 85 to 90 feet down, all of a sudden you just enter a temperature that is 2 degrees colder than what you were in. And I mean, it doesn't start suddenly, it just happened suddenly. It just changes suddenly. So this is what is happening. All the corals are bleaching. They are sheet coral. Now, as you can see, that most of the coral reef already been killed over the years, because every 4 or 5 years we have this occurrence, record temperature as it relates to heat, and it killed the corals. But because the ocean is so resilient, these coral would release their eggs and so on from other distance area, and they would drift into our location and our geographical location and our reef, and they would grow there. So we have to depend on that. Other than that, globally, something need to be done about carbon emission, greenhouse gas, because this is really trapping the heat that comes in our atmosphere on a daily basis, trapping it, and it can't go out, so it have to go somewhere. And when that happens, that the heat sit for so long on the surface of the ocean and our seas that it penetrates to a deep depth, and this is the result of it. So what you can notice is that on the coral reef you have more brown. Where you see those red and orange, those are mostly algae. Don't be fooled, they're not corals. Those are invasive, things that grow there. That is not healthy for the reef. What we need now is that, our local and international legislators put in place things that will slow global warming. And if that is done now, what we will find is that we'll have a more healthier environment for us to live in. Not only that global warming is affecting the coral reefs around the world, but you have invasive species such as the lionfish that is really wreaking havoc on our fish stock. Overfishing is also an issue, and we have to take that into consideration and have that being dealt with internationally. However, what is of a greater importance is that we need to protect our coastline and protect our mangrove and our wetland, because these areas can slow the acidity in the water and also absorb the carbon, because the seaweed in the water does what the rainforest does for the land. It does that for our coastal shore. One of the things we also have to do is to be more responsible with our coastal development. Too much of our business places and accommodation for tourism is done too close to the ocean, and because of that, whatever mistake is made and it is swept away, it ends up right into the sea. It is sad to say that internationally, local and international, that the health of the environment is sacrificed at the altar of financial growth and also economic development. We need to take more interest in our coastal waters. We need to pay attention to what is happening, and we need to put in place mitigation processes. It's not about just stopping fishermen from fish. It's not just about telling individuals that they are not allowed to go in this area, but it is about being responsible as a government and as a people. We need to look at what causes the total depletion of our sea urchin, which are very important to our environment, because they are good grazers. Something is happening in our waters, and somebody need to come forward and speak the truth, or else us as fishermen will have to employ some private marine biologists and do some tests and really come out and let people know what's happening, because a lot is happening. Thank you very much. God bless.